You have within you a vibration energetically that needs to be heard. It needs to be seen. It needs to be felt. And it's not just by you. You know that this energy needs to spread in different ways throughout consciousness. When I say consciousness, what I'm meaning and what they're showing me is your participation in the existence of this universe, that's consciousness, okay, is vital to its success. We're so focused on loss, fear, anger, and resentment that we've lost our capacity to communicate with ourselves. We've lost our capacity to feel the experiences that we know we're meant to experience. We've lost the capacity to go beyond our emotions and actually feel the energy. The Creator says, I'm asking you today to allow yourself to feel the truth of who you are, feel the truth of your existence. And even though it may not come into words right now, and it may not make sense to you fully, it's time to begin to allow yourself to dream about the true essence of what you want to experience in your life. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers. This episode is live and unscripted because I'm communicating in real time with the Creator and other universal beings to bring you the truth of who you are and why you exist. This is part 31 of the story of creation. So let's see what they have to share with us today. So we've got angelics again, which is great. Let me see. So we're going first stream angelics. So first stream angelics are those who embody matter, and their whole mission, their whole job is to actually create and facilitate the creation of matter. But also to hold space for it once it's created. And I think this is a part of existence that we forget, okay? And what they're showing me is, when a soul being is created in this universe, they're created for a reason. You are a soul, and you're created for a reason. But it's understanding that it's not just because you have a purpose. It's understanding that how energy works is when you have the understanding of the reason of your existence, you now have a vibration in you, and you can change the frequency of that vibration based on your intentions. So if you have an intention to have a specific experience, you change the frequency of your vibration, which means now you're going to communicate and connect with different vibrations universally. Okay. And so this concept it's the foundation of existence, but it's understanding that you will always have one particular idea or group of ideas that speak to your heart more than others. Okay. So, maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're a parent who that's your full-time focus. I don't like the word job when it comes to that, so I'm resisting that. But the reality is, it doesn't matter, okay? It's understanding that we do a lot of different things in our lives, okay? Our roles, especially in this world where we're not living as a reflection of our souls, we're living as a reflection of the lies and rules we've been taught ultimately. And so right now we're in this stage of evolution where evolution has been stagnant for about 50,000 or so years. We haven't been evolving. We've been in a cycle that just repeats. So it's on repeat. So, we come into a life, we have a life, we leave, we come back. but nothing has changed as far as the evolution of existence. What does that mean? That means we've been doing the same thing in the same ways. Okay. Why? Because as humans, we've been taught to participate in life in very specific and strategic physical ways that enable us to, it's interesting the way they're showing me. They enable us to feel little bits of our energy without actually being able to fulfill the need of our energy. Okay. And I'm using that word need. I want you to feel the energy of what they're sharing. You have within you a vibration energetically, okay, that needs to be heard. It needs to be seen. It needs to be felt. And it's not just by you. You know that this energy needs to spread in different ways throughout consciousness. And I'm going to use that word very specifically here. Okay. I'm not just throwing it around. When I say consciousness, what I'm meaning and what they're showing me is your participation in the existence of this universe, that's consciousness, okay, is vital to its success. And if you aren't allowing yourself to participate in the exchange of that energy, okay, so exchanging that energy means you're offering it, but you're also receiving it, okay? The challenge in this world is the ways we've been taught to offer are not in alignment with existence. Okay, they're in alignment with hate and anger and resentment, control and manipulation. Offering is similar to, it's like a radio station. Okay, it's a broadcast. And energetically, when you offer your energy as a broadcast, what happens is you allow those who are attuned at that level to tune you in, to pick up your frequency, because you're on similar frequencies. So you attract each other. This is that concept of the law of attraction. Okay. It's understanding that who you're being is actually foundationally creating, it's a magnetic attraction. Okay. That's why you create the experiences in your life. It's understanding right now, more than any time in the history of human existence. Okay. So before the manipulation of humanity, we would never manipulate. We would never try to force someone to see things our way. We would never do that because it was unnecessary. We were all in full consciousness, so everyone had access to all information. Right now, however, we are at, they're using the word juxtaposition, which is not a word I would ever use. Not that it's a bad word. It's just, it's not familiar in my lingo. So the way that they're using it, what they want me to share is we're at this place in human existence where it's like, they're showing me like people trying to climb the mountain. Okay. So we're trying to resurrect human existence. So, and they're showing me people, holding these pickaxes in their hands, right? They're not strapped in. There's no safety precautions. They're just pickaxe and hoping like hell it sticks into the sheer rock face, and another one and another one and another one. Okay. And it is literally, for all you rock climbers, I apologize for my non-technical behavior, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's understanding that this is what humanity is trying to do. We're trying to scale the rock face, but we miss the point. We miss the point is, energetically, right? As conscious beings, we could just be at the top, but we're still trying and using all of the manipulation tools to try and get there, which are these pickaxes and hope. Those two combined, right? So the physical and the mental. The physical is the pickaxes and the mental is the hope. Hope is extremely destructive. We know that. We've talked about that. But right now, what's happening on a global scale is understanding that we're not broadcasting, okay? We're not setting our intention to just broadcast where we are and allow those who are in alignment to connect and communicate together, okay? We are in the depths of a movement of fear that has never, ever been experienced on Earth before. Why is it this big? Because the whole planet is feeling it now. So up until now, we've had groups, segregated groups of humans who have felt the depths of fear. But there were those who were also feeling freedom and escape. Escapism is the word they're using. Currently, we are in a state of evolution like never before, okay? So we are literally rising from the mire that has created so much challenge, so much pain and suffering. But we have to change our tactics. We have to change our approach, or else it's not going to work. We can't use manipulation, okay, to resurrect humanity. Why? Because humanity is not built on manipulation or fear. And it's really fascinating because they're showing me, even those right now who think they have it all figured out, right? They're building bunkers underground in preparation for the demise of the planet and all of these different things. That's still fear-based. They're all in fear. And the reality is, when everyone surrenders to the truth that we're all in this together, we're not all one. We're all in this together, which is fundamentally different than we are all one. It's understanding that everything you do impacts everyone around you, and everything that everyone else does impacts everyone around them. So if you want to create a movement forward for human existence right now, which is exactly what we're doing, that's why you came into this life. That is the task you chose to participate in. Every single human on the face of this earth right now knew exactly what they were coming into. You did. I know sometimes that's hard to swallow and it's uncomfortable, but it also shows you how tenacious you are, how committed you are, how curious, and how strong, how much courage you actually have to come in at the depths of ultimately despair. The fact that there are countries and humans all around the world planning for disaster tells us how close we are. Okay? We're right there. Think about your greatest challenge where you had to leave something that wasn't working for you. Maybe it was a relationship, a job, a home. It doesn't matter what it is. But I want you to remember back into that moment of where you had to let something or someone go and you did not want to. You weren't ready. Feel the anger and the hurt and the fear that you had in that moment of what life was going to be like without that experience or that person. And allow yourself to recognize the truth of that moment, that if that experience did not end, you wouldn't be the person that you are today. We're so focused on loss, fear, anger, and resentment that we've lost our capacity to communicate with ourselves. We've lost our capacity to feel the experiences that we know we're meant to experience. We've lost the capacity to go beyond our emotions and actually feel the energy. And That's what they want to offer you today is that experience of recognizing not only your true self, but the fact that your soul has a vision. And that vision is based on not only your potential, but it's the potential of humanity. And they're showing me right now, every human soul is holding that vision. Your soul's holding it for you so that you can rise and embrace that truth in spite of what's going on around you, in spite of what everybody else has to think or say or do, in spite of how the physical world makes you feel and how your emotions are triggering your behaviors. Because the reality right now is humanity is on a fast track. It's like they're showing me, it's like a super powered train. And it's not slowing down, it's not stopping for you to get comfortable. It's just not going to happen anymore. Because the reality is, you have become so complacent and comfortable in pain and suffering that this train can't wait for you to get comfortable with truth and self-recognition. That's where we're going. And it's not because you're not worthy, it's because you are worthy and you are ready, even if your brain doesn't want to accept that. So the Creator says, I'm asking you today to allow yourself to feel the truth of who you are, feel the truth of your existence. And even though it may not come into words right now, and it may not make sense to you fully, it's time to begin to allow yourself to dream about the true essence of what you want to experience in your life. You know, we've been trained that we need to protect ourselves and we need to fight against our own demise. But the truth is, what we're supposed to be fighting for, and this is the secret that they've wanted to keep hidden from all of humanity, because that's how powerful we are. The truth is, right now, you're meant to be fighting for yourself, not fighting against anyone, but allowing the truth of who you are to start to emerge, right? The truth is it's your energy, it's your vibration, and it's hidden underneath your emotions. It's hidden underneath your fears and your judgments. And it's not about unleashing it on someone, because again, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to broadcast, right? We're not here to be dictators, okay? That's what, but that's where we've ended up, okay? If you look at the way the world is right now, everyone is so angry and they are spewing that anger and that hurt and that hate out so other people will see their point, will get the message. And it's never going to work, because that is not how humans work. It's not how you were designed to offer and receive awareness. And awareness is a greater perspective of existence than you currently have. And if that is what you want to offer other humans, then your job and your goal is to rise above the anger and the resentment and the hurt and create opportunities to focus solely on who you have the potential to be. Focus there. Don't get caught up in the anger and the resentment. Let it go. I know it's hard. I know it's hard when you are so worried that that person is not going to be held accountable for the destruction that they have caused and the pain and the suffering that they have caused. But you carrying your anger is causing more pain and suffering than the truth will ever cause. Not only because it's hurting you and it's holding you back, but because you can't see your future because you're holding the pain and fear and anger towards them. So it's clouding your judgment. You can't see your potential, and you cannot create a pure space for the future that you actually want to create. So your job today as a soul in human form is to begin to allow your dream to emerge. Let it be fuzzy right now. It doesn't have to have crisp lines, but let yourself start to believe that we do live in a world where humans and human potential is our greatest gift. And those who are choosing to cause harm, they will be seen, and they will be removed, but not because someone is angry and resentful, but because the truth will always, always prevail. Why? Because it's the basis of existence. It's the basis of consciousness, and every single human has access to it. And we are at a pinnacle moment in human evolution and existence where the truth is about to come out. It's like they're showing me it's like an atomic bomb. It's going to go off and it's going to reverberate out around the world. And it will be truth that is going to take everything down. It's not going to be arms. It's not going to be war and anger, that way that we've been taught those things are. It's going to be truth. And the wonderful thing with truth is it's instantaneous. The freedom on the other side is instantaneous. If you have ever experienced, a personal transformation where you've been doing something in your life a certain way for years and years, and then you see that one dynamic has caused you pain and suffering, and you change it. It's instantaneous. The moment you recognize what you have done, right? That accountability, then it's the change is instant. That's what's going to happen. We're a couple months, weeks out at this point. This is being recorded on May 8th. From truth being revealed on a massive level, and it is not going to come in the way that we've been trained that truth is going to come, right? Truth is not about accountability. It's about recognition of self. And that is coming very soon. And it is going to come in a way that is going to shock humanity to our core, because that's the shock we need to remember the truth of who we are. It's not the shock of deception and fear and manipulation. It's the shock of truth. And although it's uncomfortable, the mass freedom that is on the other side is exactly what humanity's been waiting for. This is part 31. I will see you again for part 32. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this, please give us a subscribe, a like, a comment, and please share with anyone you feel who needs to hear these messages. But also start the conversation, start the conversation in your communities about what's possible for you as human beings, because that's the conversation we need to start, rather than continuing to hold the conversation of anger and resentment. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
It has to do with resentment and hatred and a desire to put a wooden cross through a gentleman's heart.
Okay.
And for years, I would think what he did to me.
Yep.
Then one day, a word came to me, what he did for me.
Yeah.
And the hatred went, because I discovered new people, new things to do, new value for myself. I evolved, I learned, I enjoyed, and he disappeared.
Yep.
So that little tiny word made a huge difference in my life.
And you know what's so beautiful is it was your choice. It was your choice to look at your life and existence itself in an entirely different way. You weren't filtering it through that anger anymore. You just saw it for what it was. And that's the reality is truth doesn't hold resentment and anger. It always reveals why things happened and what experience we were meant to have as a result of that why, right? We get so caught up in the anger, we forget that that experience is part of our evolution. My heart is beating so hard too. Yes, Tanis, I agree. It's inevitable, but the comfort that has come from knowing it's the creator who's leading it. There's a comfort because we know he believes in us more than anybody could ever believe in us, right? It's like our collective call last night, right? If you believe in yourself 100% of the time, what is life going to look like? That's what he's doing. He's believing in us 100%, and he's giving us that opportunity to remember how to believe in ourselves. That's what this gift is. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to learn more, head on over to michellevickers.com. Join our mailing list to receive new episodes right to your inbox or apply to be a guest on the show. If this episode made you think of someone while you were listening, forward the link onto that person with a little note about why it made you think of them, because the greatest gift you can give another human is to see the beauty and purity of who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious.